What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I feel like 100 grand.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Wise.
Dr. Jeremy Weiss here, founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs and leaders like the founders of P90X, Baby Einstein, Atari, many more, and how they overcome big challenges in life and business. And this is part of the e-commerce mastery series where top experts teach you what really works to boost your business. Our sponsor today is Rise25.com, where entrepreneurs of 6, 7, 8-figure businesses come together live and in person to solve their biggest business challenges and leave with lifelong friendships. And check out Rise25.com. It's run by myself and co-founder John Corcoran. It's application only. Today, I'm really excited. We have Brad Weimert. He started Easy Pay Direct in 2009, and it's an online credit card processing company for high-level e-commerce businesses. They especially help high-volume businesses who are susceptible to consumer disputes. The Easy Pay Direct platform currently serves more than 60,000 merchants, including Infusionsoft, Digital Marketer, and so many more. Brad, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
So talk about the infrastructure a little bit. This seems like a very complicated business. Okay, what kind of staffing, like positions do you need to run this?
Yeah, you have to have development. So you have to have developers. And past that, we have marketing, operations, customer service, functionally customer service. We call them merchant support specialists. And then we have 2 different roles for the boarding process. So when somebody is just getting started, we have new client specialists talk to them. And it's somebody that is specifically trained to do, those people have also done support. So that's the chain, is they go from support. If they're not on the marketing or development side of the business, they're trained to go through support. Then they're a new client specialist, and then they get tested into being a certified payment specialist. And the new client specialists work with people right on the front end. So they'll assess your business model, your products, what you're doing, look at your website, make sure all the T's are crossed, I's are dotted, and then they'll move you to a new client or to a certified payment specialist.
How did you come up with that
structure?
Yeah, how did you come up with that structure? Yeah.
You know, I think that what we realized was there are a lot of nuances to e-commerce and to different marketing models and different businesses, and where a lot of people fall short or get into trouble with merchant accounts is from not getting set up the right way on the front end. But it's almost impossible it's just so difficult to understand every single business model out there, right? I mean, we talk to just this litany of different types of businesses, from Nutra to adult to information products to seminar companies to payday loans to they're all so different.
Right, yeah.
In the marketing models, some of them there's tons of overlap, right? But like the adult space is fascinating because it's so competitive. They are on the forefront of innovation with marketing all the time because they have to be. And your moral judgments be whatever they are, but the marketing models involved in that space are always cutting edge.
Yeah.
So our certified payment specialists, what we realize is they need to know their shit. Like they need to know everything. So we train them on different business models, different industries, all of the nuances that pertain to the legal elements of it, et cetera, et cetera. So it's crazy. I mean, you look at our reviews online or look at client feedbacks, et cetera. It's overwhelmingly positive, and that's why. It's because we've got a super high touch, really educated staff that can help them, and that's super atypical in the payment space.
Yeah. What was your first hire?
First hire was Gordon Williams, who is a certified payment specialist. And I was at the time in a little 2-room office and downtown Ann Arbor, Michigan. We're in Austin, Texas now. And he was, I think before that, he was selling windows, functionally door to door.
How did you know you were ready for that first hire?
I was not. I did not have the money for it. And I just felt like I needed somebody else to do some stuff. You're wearing 100 hats at the same time,
right?
And trying to figure out what to do, and specifically doing client follow-up and sales when you're trying to actually build an infrastructure.
Very difficult.
It's a terrible combination. I mean, because you're going to drop the ball somewhere, and it's usually you drop it with a client, but you can't do that.
Right.
You have to, and so that's been one of the tenets of the business now is the clients come first. Period. Even if I told you to do something else, you get a call from a client, the client comes first. Like that's 100% through the organization, because you have to. Like it's your brand.
Yeah.
You know?
So Brad, I have a few more questions, but what do you consider some of the milestones of Easy Pay Direct?
One of the big ones early on was integrating with having a fully integrated application process. So when you're working with 30 banks, and you're trying to set up multiple accounts for people, the traditional way that this happens, and this happens with all our competitors, et cetera, is you manually fill out a bunch of different applications. And that is it's just tremendously time
painful
consuming
process. Yeah.
Much less like just super irritating. And so getting our online application is called EMAP. It's the Electronic Merchant Application Portal. And getting EMAP up and running and now we're on, I don't know, version 11 or something. But getting that up and running for the first time was sort of miraculous. Gordon Williams was present when we did that, because that was my first objective. So I got the sales guy on, got him cover clients, and then I crushed that out and finished that. And so today it's really funny because every time we have a little quirk or something that isn't working perfectly or somebody wants to do something differently, you hear staff vocalizing that. And Gordon will inevitably reach out to me in the back end and be like, "Man, they have no idea. They have no idea what
we are filling it out on stone tablets and sending it."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So now you have one online application, and once we get that, we screen it internally. Everything's laid out easily for us, so we can do it quickly, and then we can hit all the banks in the order that we want to, but on the back end.
So it sounds like putting systems in place, whether it's that or whatever it is, has been huge.
Mm-hmm. It was also the biggest lesson because the systems are the only thing that it's what holds the whole thing together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go on a rabbit hole on this. I'm not going to because I'm really interested in the software and the systems that you use to run the business. I know there's many questions I won't be able to ask, but you have an amazing process for actually hiring, which we won't get to. But since it's Inspired Insider, I always ask, Brad, what's been the lowest moment and what's been the proudest moment for you?
The lowest moment is tough.
Because I know you've made some probably big sacrifices with building this business. Because you kind of smile when you're like, this was not a quick money business. It's a real slow relationship by relationship business.
Yeah, I think that I don't know about lowest, but the most challenging time in the business was, and kind of one of the scariest, actually I was gonna say going into significant debt. It was just putting everything on a card, but it was actually just before that. So it was actually before I made the commitment to go into debt, and when I was sort of terrified with the decision of it, and it was, hey, can I do this? And I don't even talk to myself that in those words, but ultimately that was the feeling. It was the I'm afraid to put I think the initial time I cranked essentially a loan cranked on my credit card was maybe 40 grand or 50 grand, and I just remember thinking, I don't know if I can do that.
Right.
And once I did it, there was no choice. Once I did it, it was like, all right, well, now we're going. But I think that decision making process, and kind of the self talk and the internal dialogue at that point, that was probably the most challenging time.
What pushed you over the edge to say yes, you think? Because that's such a tough moment, right?
Yeah. I think I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I think that I know what was going on in my life, and that was that I had a real estate education company, and we were doing seminars teaching people how to invest in real estate, which, by the way, is why I got involved in the high risk space specifically,
right?
Because we had problems with merchant accounts, so I had to know.
You had a pain point, yeah.
Oh, crazy! That's why I built the whole company, really. But after I got out of that, I went and climbed some mountains in the Swiss Alps, which I was totally ill-equipped for. Thankfully, I had Carl Drew, who is a very good friend and crazy adventurer, there to keep me safe. But I think through that process, I think I got back from that, and my mindset was that it was time to do this. And I'm sure that we could build some correlation there, but ultimately, adventure serves a couple purposes, and one of them is to show you what you're capable of.
Yeah.
And you have to, when you're literally facing death, you're literally standing on the edge of a mountain thinking, all right, well, if I slip, if I misstep, if the wind blows too hard, it's
over. Yeah.
I think that it helps you
puts things in perspective.
Reframe where you are.
Yeah. So Proudest.
Proudest was so far.
Besides that trophy behind you, I don't know what that is, but
those are all from Vector Marketing, and I don't know what to do with them. I can't throw them away. It's like
it looks like you won like the PGA Tour or something. I don't.
Yep. No, I just have no idea what else to do with it. So the Proudest really was last year, and last year I had this realization. I was at an event. I think I was at I can't remember what event I was at, but I was at an event, and I had this moment where I thought, man, like literally everything that is happening in life is founded on some relationship that I have. Mm-hmm. The business stuff, the personal stuff, everything that I'm doing. And a fun game actually is to track that back and think, hey, I'm doing this with this person. Well, how do I know this person? You can think back, well, I only know them because I went to this dinner with these people, or, I was at this location with this person. Right. So if you didn't know this person, you wouldn't know them, wouldn't know this person, wouldn't have gotten into business. Right. And it was that realization that the driver is quality relationships, and the depth of your relationships drive everything else. So I know that doesn't sound like, an accomplishment, but the realization, I think, for me really was an accomplishment. And I think that it's helped over time to guide my actions and adjust the goals that I'm after, the drivers.
What's one of the best pieces of advice you've gotten from one of those people that you built a relationship with?
The destination is not the outcome. It's a beacon. So the goal that you're setting it's not about hitting the goal. Yeah. That is just a guiding light, right? But the path through it is, and that specific phrase resonated with me.
Yeah. Brad, this has been awesome. Thank you. I have one last question, but before I ask it, where can people check you out online? Where should they go?
BradWeimert.com is me personally. It's Brad, WEIMERT.com. And EasyPayDirect.com. If you do any sort of e-commerce, you certainly should look at us.
Yeah, EasyPayDirect.com. Last question has to be an adventure question. And I don't know if that's you on video, but there's some video of a kickball injury. Was that you? That was the craziest video. I should clip it in. It's the sickest thing, one of the sickest things I've ever seen. I think your leg is bent on a 90-degree angle where it shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's totally bizarre, man. I actually, I keep, it's on my Facebook profile somewhere.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And, yeah, and my left leg, my foot hit the third base bag, and it was not a breakaway bag, so my foot hit the bag and my leg just kept going.
Oh, that's horrible.
Oh, it's so crazy.
I just want to point that out because it's crazy. But the craziest thing you've done or the scariest moment as an adventure?
As an adventure?
Yeah.
The scariest moments for me involve heights, because I'm just terrified of heights.
You wouldn't know that from the pictures on your page. You're like hanging off the side of a mountain.
That's why I do them. But yeah, the scariest things involve heights. Crazy. I mean, crazy is such a tough thing for me to isolate in my life. But I think, I think that they're climbing mountains is.
Yeah. I didn't know if there was one in particular that was like a seriously near death type of experience.
No.
I mean, I see you. There were videos of you like doing, I don't know, loops in a airplane or something. I mean, there's a lot of crazy things that you do. It sounds like, but
yeah, I'm always trying to find new stuff, man. It's
what's next? What's next on your list to do?
Next on my list is to compete in American Ninja Warrior.
Really?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yep. So I do a lot of rock climbing, and grip strength has a tremendous amount to do with that specific obstacle course. I've had some friends that have competed in it, and I don't know. At some point, I feel like doing an Ironman, but I've done a bunch of other like really long endurance things. But there's a huge time commitment involved there, and endurance athletics, it's not really fun. It's you get stuff out of it, but it's it's a huge time commitment, and it's grueling. Yeah, huge time commitment. So American Ninja Warrior is just, I think it will bring out the kid in me a little bit, and also just like the rugged dude. Like just get it.
Brad, thank you so much. People should check out Easy Pay Direct. This was awesome. Thanks, Brad.
Hey, thank you.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out